Welcome everyone to this friendly. We have today Vikas, Shanine, Devrim, and Malte. Question one is for Vikas. Name this ancient Egyptian deity of protection and ointments who is depicted with the head of a cat or other leonine forms. This daughter of Ra or Re was known as Ailuros in ancient Greek religion.
Hmm. Vast.
Correct answer. Vikas, which opera by Verdi features the titular knight being tricked into dressing up as a ghost that haunts an oak tree, leading to him being tormented by disguised spirits? It was orchestrated as a punishment for his scheme to seduce wealthy matrons Alice Ford and Meg Page.
Hmm. Falstaff.
Correct again.
Ah.
It is Falstaff. And your third question. Every year, while Cannes doles out Palme d'Or prizes, renowned critics gather to celebrate the goodest boys with the Palme Dog Awards. The award for 2007 was given to Yuki, a faithful companion of the protagonist of which coming of age film set against the backdrop of a late 1970s revolution?
Persepolis.
3 out of 3. It is Persepolis. Shanine, your questions. The Mickey Mouse Club was a variety television show that aired until 1996, and its alumni are today fondly referred to as Mouseketeers. Identify this Mouseketeer, the star of Burlesque, who later became a coach on The Voice.
Christina Aguilera.
Is the correct Mouseketeer? Though I wonder if they want to still be called Mouseketeers. I would not. Shanine, the Patronus is a protective charm that manifests in the form of a creature. In Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the Patronus of Nymphadora Tonks changes from that of a rabbit. It is later revealed that this was driven by the fact that she is in love with Remus Lupin. What animal does her Patronus change to?
An owl.
I'm afraid not. Passing to Devrim.
A wolf.
Quite right.
I just finished listening to the audiobook today of the Half-Blood Prince.
I was wondering if it's wolf or werewolf, but yeah.
I think where only if we're talking about actual Remus Lupin.
Yeah.
Another question for you, Shanine. Guess the idiom or phrase from this literal image.
Barking up the wrong tree.
Absolutely. And that brings us to Devon's questions. The flag carrier of which overseas country of a European nation operating out of Faa International Airport in Papeete features the tiare, its national emblem. It is made up of 5 groups of islands, including the Society Islands.
Tahiti.
We'll get you a point. Location of last year's surfing for the Olympics. I would also have accepted French Polynesia.
Yeah, I was 50-50 in my head. Which one should I say? But
Both,
those were the two. Those were the two.
both would have gotten you that same solitary body. In which video game, 5 letters, Devrim, does the player control a homeless cat trying to escape from a walled city populated by robots, machines, and mutant bacteria? Its title, blank, 5 letters, indicates that the cat is a domestic animal that is wandering at large or is lost.
Um, Stray.
Could I hear that again, please?
Stray.
We'll get to the point. Very well worked out. It is stray. And your third question. Which Australian artist sings Even the Sweetest Plum Has Only Got So Long in his 2018 album Bloom? This South African born angel baby starred as the titular character in the Spud film trilogy in his youth and has recently been seen in The Idol 2023 and 3 Months 2022.
Is this Troye Sivan?
Yes. Was the back of his head helpful?
Yeah, it was. It really was, to be
Yes.
honest.
I would also accept it. Troye Sivan Mellet. Malte, your questions. Which painting by Millet shows the titular protagonist surrounded by wildflowers used for a garland? It includes a red poppy, an allusion to sleep and death.
Ophelia?
We'll get you a point. And there she is. In Africa, the shells of Olivella nana, a species of sea snails, were widely used as legal tender. It was traded primarily in which kingdom, along with its neighbors Dongo and Matamba? This once vassal state of Portugal is now spelt with a change in the first letter of its name to avoid confusion with present-day countries of the same name. Ten seconds. Going to need an answer?
Buganda?
I'm afraid not. Vikas?
Yeah, not going to try risking this pass.
Passing to Shanine.
Pass.
Passing to Devrim.
Pass.
We were looking here for Congo with a K to avoid confusion with Congo with a C. Name this ancient Egyptian deity of sky protection and kingship, Malte, who is depicted with the head of a falcon. Wedjat is an anatomical motif often associated with this son of Isis and Osiris.
Horus?
We'll get you a point. It is Horus, the motif being the eye of Horus. So round one, everybody has points. This is round two. Vikas, these are your three direct questions. Which author of works such as The Lady in the Lake and The Big Sleep was sent to the infirmary twice in England during July and October 1918? Military records reveal that these bouts were during the peak of the Spanish flu pandemic.
Raymond Chandler.
Quite right. The flag carrier of which autonomous region of a European nation operates out of São Miguel Island, Vikas, and features the Eurasian goshawk found in this region of the Atlantic. It is considered the westernmost point of Europe.
Azores.
We'll get you a point. That's the answer we were looking for. And get you a third question. This strain of cannabis is a cross of Purple Urkel S1 and Alien Lab's signature Planet Dosi strains and was created as a tribute to the old school purple strains of the 90s. It is named in tribute to those who prepared for which event? 3 letters, the day the world didn't end.
Y2K.
We will not judge you for getting these answers in this squad very quickly. Shanine, your questions. Which Swedish artist sings 1-2 Grapefruit Wish I Could Change Overnight in her 2022 album Dirt Femme? Her habits of combining grunge-influenced tunes with deeply personal lyrics have ensured this cool girl has reigned as Queen of the Clouds since her debut.
Pass.
Passing to Malte.
Pass.
Passing to Vikas.
I'll pass.
Passing to Devrim.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but it's like Tovlo. So Tovelo.
I will
Yeah.
100% give you a point for that. I will
I
also
was confused between love to and tovlo, so I just skimmed it.
Well, that would have certainly made Devrim's life easier if you'd given it a go. However, he got the point regardless. Also
I
known
probably would have gone with love to, so I saved myself there. So
Ebba Tove Elsa Nielsen is her full name for those interested. Shanine, named this ancient Egyptian deity of moon, writing, science, and judgment, who is depicted with the head of an ibis. Regarded as self-begotten by ancient Egyptians, this deity is often depicted with his wife, Ma'at.
Set.
Could I hear that again, please?
Sorry, set.
No. Passing to Malte.
Pass.
Passing to Vikas.
thought.
Give you a point. We are looking for thought. The third question, Shanine. Which poet made a reference to the Spanish flu in his poem Sweeney Among the Nightingale? The person in the Spanish Cape. He and Vivian, his wife, caught the infection in November 1918 while he was working on his magnum opus, The Wasteland.
E.S. Eliot.
Who else? It is T.S. Eliot. Devrim, your questions? Patolio is a Konkani sweet consisting of whole rice, jaggery, and coconut. It is prepared by steaming it in the leaves of which plant? Part of the ginger family, its rhizome is used in cooking for its earthy aroma and distinctive color.
No clue. Turmeric.
Is the correct answer.
Oh,
You
nice.
didn't have a clue.
Nice, good.
Nice.
Which opera by Wagner features the titular hero encountering a wood bird that instructs him to take the ring from Fafner's lair? It also warns him when the dwarf mime offers him a poisoned drink and later sings a tune that leads him to Brunhild.
Die Walküre. So the Valkyries.
No, passing to Malte. Little an answer. Passing to Shanine.
Pass.
Passing to Vikas.
I don't know what the opera is fully called. Pass, non-comp.
Is
Non-com.
it the Gotterdammerung?
Siegfried, whatever one is with the Siegfried. Is that correct?
Siegfried was the answer we were looking for.
Is
Tough
that
luck.
it? Oh, I thought the opera has a bigger name than that. Oh.
That was it. So we will now leave this lady looking longingly at us from this rock and move on to Devrim's next question. Which culture that flourished from about 100 to 700 CE in Peru used shells of Spondylus, a genus of mollusks, as a form of legal tender and often incorporated it in their ceramic art? The successor of the Chavin culture, this confederation of small states in the country's northern coast, had its capital near modern-day Trujillo.
The Moche culture.
Brilliantly done.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes,
I just filled it
absolutely.
in because I don't know if any of you does KFL, but this was an answer last week in KFL, and it was the only one I didn't get. So I just thought, let's get
I'm
this one now.
not familiar with KFL or these people, but I will try and remember it now.
Yeah. Nice.
Very well done. Malte, these are your questions. The strain is a cross of XXXOG and Alpha OG that was developed by California Herbal Remedies to relieve insomnia. Its potent nature led to it being called the dawn of all OGs and is named after which titular figure, 9 letters, created by Mario Puzo.
Godfather.
Oops. Give me a second. That was the correct answer. There we go. Points to Malte. And another question. What is the two-word name of this dog breed popular in the Western Alps region? They were originally bred for rescue work by the hospice of the namesake pass on the Italian-Swiss border.
I just know the German word, which is just one word. It's a Bernhardiner. I think something like Saint Bernhard, Saint Bernhard.
We'll get you the point.
Yeah, should be correct, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty much that.
Saint Bernard is precisely what we were looking for.
Okay.
12-year-old Nick Carter Malte successfully auditioned for the Mickey Mouse Club, but went I Want It That Way when he chose to join which boy band instead?
Backstreet Boys.
Absolutely. This is the Backstreet Boys. So round 3, Vikas and Devrim on 7 points each, Malte on 5, Shanine on 3. Vikas, these are your questions.
Yep.
In which video game, 7 letters, does the player take the role of a mother badger who must protect and feed her cubs while traveling from their burrow to a new one? Its title, blank, 7 letters, refers to any place giving temporary protection from bad weather or danger.
Shelter.
Is the correct answer. It is shelter. In Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Vikas, Dumbledore conjures a Patronus to summon Hagrid. What creature does the Patronus take form of? It is no surprise that his pet fox is one such creature. It saves his life multiple times by sacrificing its own and being able to rise from the ashes to come back to him.
Phoenix.
Absolutely correct. And your third question, which painting by Manet shows a servant bringing flowers to the titular subject lying in bed? A gift from one of her clients, she disdainfully ignores the bouquet.
Olympia.
3 quick points. It is Olympia. And there she is. Shanine, your questions. The flag carrier of which overseas territory of a European nation operates out of Georgetown and features its mascot on it. Originally named Los Tortugas due to an abundance of turtles, it is now named after another reptile.
Could you maybe zoom in on the mascot, if that's...
7 seconds.
Galapagos Islands.
I'm afraid not. Malte
Cayman Island.
is the correct island. This strain, Shanine, is a cross of Cinderella 99 and Jack Herer. When it first appeared in California, its effect was so strong that people forgot what they were doing. It was thus named after which medical condition, 7 letters, involving large-scale loss of memory?
Dementia.
Not dementia, Malte?
Amnesia.
Is the correct answer. One of the Palm Dogs for 2009, Shanine, was given to Doug, the talkative golden retriever from which heartwarming adventure film? Only the second animated film in history to receive a Best Picture nomination at the Oscars. Its opening montage is considered a beloved cultural milestone.
Up.
Absolutely. It is Up, part of a pantheon of Pixar films that have made us all cry. Devrim, your questions. Guess the idiom or phrase from this literal image.
It was a hard time learning them in Dutch and Turkish. Yeah, no clue. Pass.
Passing to Shanine.
Pass.
Passing to Vikas.
God, I haven't got there.
Going to need an answer.
Pass.
Passing to Malte.
Pass.
Cut
Nobody?
trim. What is this? Trim the shavings. I don't know.
Put you out of your misery. This is nip in the bud.
Oh, God.
Devrim identified this mouseketeer who has been living by the mantra "baby one more time" since her departure from the Mickey Mouse Club.
It's Britney
It is indeed.
Spears. I wanted to say bitch, but as is it going to be published on the
I mean,
internet?
I haven't said it so far, but I am always open to everyone seeing the songs involved in any musical question. I can't give you extra points for it, but I will be delighted to hear your renditions of any of these songs that come up.
I will keep it in mind for the next music question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should save the audience listening, not just you, Gayatri.
Hey, this is a friendly. Maybe I can engineer extra points for singing. Devrim, what is the two-word name of this crustacean that is known to salvage empty seashells to shelter and protect their abdomen? It gets its name from a type of person who lives in seclusion.
Yeah, in Dutch it's hermit kreeft, but I will say just hermit crab in English.
Correct answer. The Dutch and the English were quite close to each other. Malte, your questions. Patrani machi is a Parsi dish which consists of flaky fish with a paste of mint, coriander, coconut, and cumin. This tangy parcel is steamed in the leaf of which tree? The leaf imparts a mild sweetness, unlike the tropical fruit, which is a common choice of base in smoothies and vegan baking. Ten seconds.
Avocado.
I'm afraid not. Passing to Shanine.
Pass.
Passing to Vikas.
Tamarind?
Not tamarind. Devrim?
Pass.
No.
Is it just banana?
It is just banana.
Oh, God.
I will also say plantain. I will say though, I believe that the banana is not a tree; it is a plant. It's a large herb or a giant herb because it lacks the woody stem, which is characteristic of trees. And the banana itself is a berry.
Ah.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, not that it affected any of us from getting to the answer.
Let's agree that's what threw all of you. Otherwise, excellent quiz. Malte, which opera by Richard Strauss features the titular mountain nymph who is exasperated, being constantly pursued by the god Apollo? It ends with the morning girl being transformed by Zeus, on Apollo's request, into a form that will help her unite with nature, a laurel tree.
Ariadne of Naxos.
I'm afraid not. Passing to Shanine.
Pass.
Passing to Vikas.
Pass.
Passing to Devrim.
Not sure. Pass.
She shares her name with one of the Scooby-Doo gang.
It's still 50-50. Daphne.
It's Daphne.
Daphne. Yeah. Apollo and Daphne. Makes sense.
The flag carrier of which self-governing region Malte of a European nation operates out of Vagar Airport and features a gannet, its national bird. This island group has remained affiliated to its kingdom since 1814.
Faroe Island.
Very well done. It is the Faroe Islands, the kingdom being Denmark. So round 4. Vikas is on 10 points, Devrim right behind him on 9, Malte right behind him on 8, and Shanine not far behind on 4. Vikas, these are your 3 questions. Mowali are omelets made from a carved and polished conus shell and was traded as a form of currency in the Pacific Rim. It originated as an artifact of the Kula exchange practiced in which archipelago off the east coast of New Guinea that was visited by Bronislaw Malinowski. It is today part of the Milne Bay province.
Trobriand Islands or Trobriand Archipelago.
Absolutely correct. And we'll get to a point. And another question. Which Irish artist sings The Blood is Rare and Sweet as Cherry Wine in his self-titled 2014 debut album, with his third studio album Unreal Unearthed scheduled to be released later this year? This singer from Eden was considered someone new in the music scene of the 2010s.
It seems really familiar.
10 seconds.
Niall Horan.
I'm afraid not. Passing to Shanine
Hosier.
is the correct answer.
Of course. Oh, I forgot he's Irish.
Well, if the question had said he likes to be taken to church, you would have gotten there sooner.
Because they weren't going to put that in the question.
Guess the idiom or phrase from this literal image, Vikas.
Oh. Heard through the grapevine.
Very well done. It is heard through the grapevine.
I initially thought it's music to my ears, didn't even notice the grapes.
Shanine, your questions. Which is the two-word name of this pinniped that is recognized by its thick fold of skin around the neck? It gets its name from a term for a Christian ascetic, as the fold resembled their traditional robes.
Pass.
Passing to Devrim.
Yeah, not sure enough, so pass.
Passing to Malte.
Pass.
Passing to Vikas.
I'll try monk seal.
Very well done. That is the correct answer. Shanine, which opera by Rossini has the titular hero asked to shoot an apple off the head of his son, Jemmy, without killing the boy? As the arrow is fired, a deft piece of stagecraft has the apple split from a blade that discreetly protrudes from the tree behind Jemmy.
William Tell.
Absolutely. It is William Tell, or Guillaume Tell, or Guglielmo Tell. I'm definitely going to butcher the pronunciation of this. Therali Kodukattai are rice dumplings made with cardamom and jaggery, commonly consumed during Atukal Pongal celebrations. It is traditionally rolled up and steamed in the leaves of witch tree. Although it imparts a citrus note to the dish, the bark of the tree is known to be a sweet spice.
Sweet.
Cinnamon.
We'll get you a point.
Oh, nice.
It is cinnamon. However, fresh bay leaves are also sometimes used as a replacement. Questions for Devrim. Which author of works such as Lady Chatterley's Lover and Women in Love suffered from influenza in 1919 in a small town in the UK? In his book The Fox, the soldiers begin to return home as the threat of Spanish flu lurks in the background.
No, pass.
Passing to Shanine.
Lawrence.
We'll get you the point. You want to hazard the first few letters of his name?
DH. I don't know.
Hmm.
Correct.
DH.
Also the author of The Interminable Sons and Lovers. Devrim, which painting by Rossetti shows a white lily in its center, a recurring motif in paintings with this title? It depicts Gabriel proclaiming Mary's impending virgin birth.
I will just try the Dutch one. No, I have no clue if that will be correct, but I will spell it because I think it's a bit
If
hard to.
you write it
Yeah,
in the comments,
I
I
will
can
say onbevlekte ontvangenis.
pass to Malte,
Pass.
passing to Shanine,
Pass.
passing to Vikas.
No, pass.
So what the answer Devrim gave me translates to Immaculate Conception, but what we're looking for here is the Annunciation.
Oh, makes sense.
Name this ancient Egyptian deity, Devrim, of funerary rites, graves, and underworld, who is depicted with the head of a jackal or other canine forms. The black head symbolizes the soil of the Nile and the embalmed corpses.
Anubis.
We'll get you a point. Malte, these are your questions. Sayuri plays Brandy, the fiercely loyal pit bull, in which film? The ninth by an acclaimed director. Awarded a Palm Dog in 2019, Brandy comes to the rescue in the gruesome climax of this film, set in 1960s Los Angeles.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Is he correct? I too would like to be rescued by Sayuri. It looks delightful.
Bulls.
Marty, it is revealed in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows that Severus Snape's Patronus has remained the same as that of Lily Potter, someone he loved his whole life. What animal does it manifest as? The female form of James Potter's Patronus, the stag. Ten seconds.
A deer.
I'm afraid not. Shanine
A doe.
is the correct word we were looking for. Doe is the female of the stag. They're both deers. Which British artist sings Multi? I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree in her 2018 studio album No Shame. Having achieved a breakthrough with her smile, she said fuck you to the addiction she developed in the 2010s, which saw her launch a comeback with Sheezus in 2014. Ten seconds.
Mia.
I'm afraid not. Devrim
Lily Allen.
is the correct answer. This is the last round. Vikas is still in the lead, but just about on 13 points. Devrim is only 2 points behind him on 11, and Shanine and Malte are both just 2 points behind him on 9 points each. Anything could happen. Vikas, these are your last 3 questions. What is the two-word name of this large game bird, 4 and 6 letters, known to inhabit areas with a shrub which gets its name from a wise herb used in cooking? The name of the bird is a synonym for grumble. 10 seconds. Going to need an answer.
Nothing. Pass.
Passing to Malte.
Pass.
Passing to Shanine.
Pass.
Passing to Devrim.
Pass.
Any non-comps?
It's sage something.
Oh, makes sense. Page,
Also
yes.
the name of a famous Scotch whiskey.
Grouse, sage grouse. Okay.
Oh.
That is the correct answer. A rather well-endowed bird. Idio, Vikas, are Mangalorean rice dumplings that include coconut, jaggery, and sesame. It is prepared by steaming it in cones made of the leaves of which plant. Its produce, which can weigh up to 35 kgs, is a popular meat substitute.
Something I've eaten, fine. Jackfruit.
That is correct. While the more famous among these two musketeers, Vikas, went on to land major film roles such as in The Social Network, they together were part of which boy band formed in 1995?
NSYNC?
Correct answer. JC Chasez and Justin Timberlake there, I think. Shanine, your questions. The shells of Monetaria annulus, the ring cowrie, was widely traded in parts of Asia. Evidence for this emerged from excavations at which ancient Assyrian city in modern-day Nineveh Governorate, Iraq. It was christened Kalha by archaeologists after the site matched a location described by a namesake figure in the book of Genesis.
Pass.
Sorry, are you passing?
Pass, yeah.
Passing to Malte?
Pass.
Passing to Devrim?
Pass.
Passing to Vikas?
Nimrud?
Is the correct answer. We are looking here for Nimrod. I would also have accepted Nimrod. Shanine, in which video game 8 letters does the player control a bull shark trying to seek revenge on a fisherman who killed her mother? Its title, 8 letters, refers to any carnivorous animal with a taste for human flesh and shares its name with a popular song by Nelly Furtado.
Man-eater?
Absolutely. And your last question. Which painting by Van Gogh shows a sprig of foxglove? This medicinal herb was used to extract digitalis, a drug prescribed by the subject to the painter.
No. Starry Night.
I'm afraid not. Malte?
Portrait of Dr. Gachet, Gachet.
Is the correct answer. And there he is. Face of a doctor who is not to be trusted with your mental health. Devrim, these are your last 3 questions. This strain is a cross of Sunset Sherbet into Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies and was first bred by the Sherbinskis in San Francisco. Its sweet flavor, combined with a creamy finish, led to it being named after which frozen dessert 6 letters of Italian origin?
Gelato?
Absolutely.
Then my dog, please. Or the Patronus. Either will do.
Then the Palm Dog of Palm Dogs is named after Uggie, a trained Parson Russell Terrier. He was awarded a Palm Dog in 2011 for playing Jack with sophistication and charisma in which film set in pre-talkie Hollywood?
The Artist.
Absolutely. And your last question. Hermione's Patronus is first seen in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. What animal does it take the form of? Fans believe this is apt as Ron's Patronus is a Jack Russell Terrier and was bred to hunt this creature of the weasel family. It gets its name from the PIE language root word that gave rise to water.
Otter.
3 out of 3. And so we come to the last 3 questions of the game. Vikas is still in the lead on 16. Devrim is still 2 points behind him at 14. Can he catch up to Vikas? Malte, these are your last 3 questions. And the last 3 questions of the game. Which author wrote an essay on the Spanish flu titled On Being Ill, which describes the mental effects of the disease? This writer of works such as To the Lighthouse and Orlando had several bouts of influenza between 1918 and 1925.
Virginia Woolf.
Yes, indeed. Guess the idiom or phrase, Malte, from this literal image.
Jump over the fence.
I'm afraid not quite. Shanine
Grass is greener on the other side.
is the right answer. It is the grass is always greener on the other side. Or to leave for greener pastures. And so we have the last question of the game. And we
I'm
currently
afraid I get an ugly animal now.
Malte, so the
no.
last question of the flora and fauna theme set. Oh dear, I forgot to ask you whether you had noticed that there was a theme running.
Oh my.
Yes. Did you all notice that there was a theme running through the questions? It was flora and fauna. In which video game, Malte, 7 letters, does the player take the role of the last mother fox in the world, accompanied by her young kits, who must be protected and fed? Its title, 7 letters, is a term used to refer to the last surviving individual of a species of animal or plant. Ten seconds.
Mohican.
I'm afraid not. Devrim?
Pass.
Passing to Vikas.
Endling.
An appropriate end to the game.
Yeah.
It is an endling. Well played, everyone.
Thank you for
Thanks for
reading,
reading.
Gayatri.
Thank you
You're
for
Thank you
reading.
for reading.